RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
The tax man cometh if you own property, and fortunately we here at KUAM are fortunate to have one of our experts on all things real estate. One half of our dynamic duo, Gina.
Just half.
Liz not here, but you know your presence is well felt. And you're wearing glasses today, and you know, I don't know if you know this, Gina, but you only wear glasses when you're talking about taxes.
Yeah, I've got to be very clear, that's why.
It's that level of precision.
Focused.
I'm not joking. Every time we do this segment and you're wearing glasses, we're talking about taxes. So that's very germane because last week we were talking about what happens when you get your tax bill. So now that you've got bill in hand,
that's right.
Where do we go from here?
Well, I want to remind everybody, the real estate tax bill came out. You've got it, or if you don't have it yet, you should be worried about that. The penalties apply whether you received your bill or not. The way the government works is it's your responsibility to go down there and say, hey, I didn't get my bill for whatever reason. I don't think the reason really matters to them. So if you didn't receive it in the mail already, that's a red flag. It's due. So the bill is broken up into 2 payments during the year. So one increment is due February 20, which is just next week. So if you haven't already received the bill, go down to Revenue and Tax. They're going to charge you $5 to give you a copy of the bill. There's just no way around that. The next increment is due April 20. But today's episode is really about, well, what if you have it and you don't agree with your tax statement? That the values are there and you don't agree with it. Can
you actually file a dispute so close to the date of the payment being due?
Well, the dispute is due between September 15th and October 15th. I mean, you have all year to file the dispute. But if you file after October 15th, they're not going to take a look at it until the following tax year. So if you go in and it's called, you know what you should do first is go down to Revenue and Tax to the real estate division, show them your bill and explain to them why you're disputing it. Give the administration a chance to take a look at it, and they may just look at it and say, yeah, you know, we made a mistake, or, you know, turn in your documents and we'll review it and see if there was some glitch in the system. But let's say, for instance, they look at it and they say, no, everything is fine. We didn't make we didn't make an error in the bill itself in terms of printing it out and getting it to you. If you actually have an issue with the assessment amount and therefore an issue with what you're being billed, and most people aren't going to go in there and say, you know, that the assessment value is too little. Most people aren't going to do that because if the assessment value is too small, your tax bill is based on that value.
Right. Who would complain about like a minor bill?
That's right.
If I'm being overcharged, however, that's when I'm going to raise my voice.
If you're overcharged and you've already gone through the administrative process of, hey, you know, I believe you guys are overbilling me. My property is really worth X. If you go through that process and they're not willing to work with you just at that level, then Revenue and Tax has, it's called the Board of Equalization. If you go online and you look up real property tax, you can actually click on that link and you could go to Board of Equalization and click on that. There's a form on there, and for those of us like myself, I don't like to use the internet. I would rather go down there. I'm confessing right here on air.
You're about as old school as they get.
Yeah,
you're a young lady, but that's an old school approach.
It is an old school approach.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I want to communicate with an individual. So what I want to do is I want to go down there. I want to get the form, and it's called the Board of Equalization form. And it explains on the form itself. In fact, I sent a copy so we can actually show it to the viewers. But you're able to take that form, and it tells you exactly what you need to do and what forms you need to bring in to prove that your property is overvalued. And to, you know, I originally thought you needed to submit an appraisal. But according to this document, you can actually bring in documentation, properties that have sold in your area. So a real estate agent can help you with that. You can call a realtor, call us, call Liz or myself. Let us know where you're at, and we can give you documentation to show you what has sold in your area, because on the form it says you're able to use that as your evidence of value.
And just so everybody's aware, maybe even for some first-time property owners in the last fiscal year, you will still receive the bill and have to pay that tax regardless of if you had a tenant if the place is pristine or if it's overgrown with vegetation and everything like that. If you own property, you're responsible for those taxes, right?
Absolutely.
What about if you ran, like, say, an Airbnb? That's still your property.
It's so this is real estate taxes, not taxes on what you're making per se.
Right.
It's just ownership. You own it, you owe it.
Okay.
That's it. It doesn't even matter what condition the property is, except that if the last time your property was evaluated, so this would be 2013 to 14, I think, and the bills came out in 15. So that was the last time. If you believe your property has gone down in value since that point, then you really should approach revenue and tax, go in there, bring photos if you want. I mean, especially if it's an abandoned property that is, has devalued because of the current condition. Bring what you can and show them evidence, and they will work with you. And if that doesn't work, the beauty of it is you can go to the Board of Equalization and appear before them with your documents in hand and your application, and they will listen to your case, and hopefully you get somewhere with that process.
That's why I appreciate your friendship so very much, because you can pass this information along to me and to our viewers. So thank you very much.
To save their money.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about.
Yes.
As they kind of said, paraphrasing the movie Full Metal Jacket, this is my realtor. There are many like it. This one is mine. We're back after this.